Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Shaquan here, and we're going to be going over 3 price charts today. I'm seeing really great potential. These currency pairs are at 3 pivotal areas in the market. Their price points are really great price points that we're fighting for. There are 3 currency pairs that we're going to be taking a look at, which is going to be the Australian dollar and the United States dollar, the pound dollar and the Australian dollar, and then the New Zealand dollar and the United States dollar. And the reason why I'm looking at these 3 currency pairs is, for one, Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar move together, and then the Australian dollar and pound AUD move opposite of one another. So we're going to be correlating these currency pairs, and if they're really good trend continuation currencies, which means that they're going to continue with their trend, then this is something that we want to get into this week. Now, if you don't know, let me go ahead and explain who I am and what I am. I am a swing trader, which means I only look at higher time frames. I'm looking to hold the trades for more than 24 hours, maybe up to a few days, up to a few weeks, who knows. But that is what I am looking to do. If I can do that, then what that's going to allow me to do is not have to come back to my charts every single day to look for trading opportunities, because I'm going to be holding these trades for potentially hundreds of pips. So let's go ahead and let's get into the analysis. The first one that we're going to be getting into is the Australian dollar. Now, one of the reasons why I'm liking the Australian dollar is because she has been in a beautiful downtrend. And if you know anything about a trending market, anytime you see a market in a downtrend or an uptrend, you know that you really don't want to trade against it. You want to actually be its friend. You want to trade with it, hold hands with it, right? And so that's what I'm looking to do. So on the price chart here, what you guys are going to notice, and I have the trend here, what I'm looking for, and let me go ahead and make this tighter. What you guys are going to notice is the downtrend and how beautiful she's been going. If you take a look at the price notes tools that I'm using here on TradingView, you will see that the numbers are decreasing, and this is how we know that price is in a downtrend. It's not by a trend line, it's not by support and resistance, it's literally by the exchange rates. That's what this price note tool is telling us. And these are the most important exchange rates to date that we need to be looking at. And I'll tell you guys why. If you notice that the numbers on top are decreasing, 0.76164, 0.75997, 0.75037, 0.74260. Now these will change depending on where you place your tool. Yours may be a few pips off from mine, and that's fine. We're around the same area. But as you can tell, the numbers are decreasing, and every time there's been a pullback, price has not been able to pass those numbers. Now you have to start to ask yourself why price is not passing these numbers. One of the biggest reasons why price is not passing these numbers is because price is in a trending area, which means when it's trending, it is flowing and it's slowing down. The pullback actually helps price pull back so that you can be able to take a trading opportunity to the downside, which means we don't want price to pass the very last price note tool or the last highest exchange rate. Let's go back to the chart so I can show you. Now, if you guys look at 0.74260, we can see that price is pulling back towards that number. We do not want price to touch that number. We do not want price to go back above that number, just like it didn't do in the last 3 price notes tools. The reason being is because we want price to stay below that number. And so this is where we're going to place structure below that number so that we can be able to enter a trade lower than that number. This is called fighting for the best price. Now, I have my market structure here, which is the estimation zone, where I am estimating that price will come back to continue down lower. This type of structure is not necessarily support and resistance. As you guys can see, I don't have a trend line on my chart, as I've stated before. I'm actually trading supply and demand. And this just basically means that as the Australian dollar is creeping down, that means that the United States people, or the people who live in the United States, they're going to be able to buy the Australian dollar at a lower price, which means right now, ain't nobody really checking for the Australian dollar like that, because they can buy it cheaper. They could travel to Australia cheaper, and that's fine. But as an investor, I'm not looking to really invest my money in this because price is decreasing. So what I am going to do as a trader, I'm actually going to trade this information, and we're going to trade it to the downside. So if price comes within my zone and it can stay below 0.74260, keep in mind, I'm not concerned about price passing this zone. I'm not. As a matter of fact, the deeper it pulls back, the better, like I said, as long as price does not go above 0.74260. But somewhere in this area, starting at this zone, if price can show me a leading price action candlestick that can go back to the downside or show me that the bears or the sellers still have control here, I will be selling. And where am I selling back to? Back down to the previous low. Actually going to keep the analysis this simple. Don't really need to go into anything else. So that's my analysis for the Australian dollar. As you guys have seen, that analysis was actually pretty quick and simple, right? Because number one, I looked at who has control, the sellers. The second part that I looked at is establishing myself in a position, which means I want to be a seller because the sellers have control. The third thing that I did was recognize where I want price to go and don't want price to go. As long as I know that I don't want price to pass 0.74260, I have a trading opportunity within a really tight range. Now, I'm going to enter on the daily time frame, which means my trading time, once price reaches that zone, will be 15 minutes. And here's what I mean. The daily time frame candle closes every 24 hours, which means for me in my time zone, it closes at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, wherever my time zone is compared to yours, just compare the time. Now, the reason why I say I have a 15-minute window is because I'm coming to my chart around 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm just going to sit, journal. I'll show you guys how I journal in a second. Take a few notes, and I'll wait till the candle closes at that time at 5 o'clock. Once it closes and it shows me, once again, I'm only looking for a candle that says the sellers are back in control. Once it shows me the sellers have control, I'm going to immediately hit the sell button, put in my take profit, put in my stop loss, put in my percentage that I want to risk in that trade, journal that as well, and then I am done, and I'm just going to let the trade ride, whether I win or lose, and I'm always in hopes and manifesting that I win my trade. I want to show you guys how I am tracking my Australian dollar trade, and I'll show you guys how I tracked the past trade that took profit actually I think it was last week or the week before. So this is my Australian dollar. And as you guys can see, I have it named as trend continuation because it will be a trend continuation trade to the downside. So I created this August 22nd when I saw price pulling back. And this is where we are now, August 29th. And as you guys can see, my name, okay? So the status is in progress because I'm not in a trade. Once I'm in the trade, it will be named as current. I do need to update it because I do see something that I'm going to have to put on my chart. It's in progress right now because I'm not in the trade, but after this video, I'll put it to needs updating. It's not done, or if I took a trade on the 4-hour, I'll manage it on the 4-hour. But for the most part, I enter trades on the daily. So this is my description for the position, as you guys can see here, and this is going to have to be updated. So this was when price started to pull back. I put a picture in here already for me to kind of see what I'm already looking for, what price was already doing, and where I still needed price to pull back to. And this is where price now in the trade that I'm actually looking to take, as I've already recorded it. And also it's the execution. That's why I say it needs to be updated because I copied this from another trade. So what I'm going to do here is talk about how I'm executing or want to execute the trade once the trade is executed. I don't want to touch this until I execute the position. Once I'm in the trade, I'm going to update this picture with how the current trade is looking. I'm going to name my take profit, my stop loss, my risk to reward, my take profit 2, stop loss 2, and risk to reward 2. Just in case if I do enter another position, as I stated in the video, when I do enter 2 positions, how that looks and what that looks like. And then as the trade goes on and the trade is completed, I'll actually be updating how that trade looks and how long I held the trade for. And then I'm also going to detail how I felt about the trade, whether I won or lost it. Just anything that I need to journal, basically feelings based. I know people say don't trade with emotions, which is true. So now I'm trading with logic. Then I'll talk about my emotions as the trade played out. So this is how I'm using Notion. This is one of my templates. I have another template as well. And I'm going to show you guys a trade that was completed. So it was created August 19th. The last time I updated it was the 23rd. And as you guys can see, it is done. And this was a trend continuation trade. So this is about this description of the trade. This is why the trade was taken. And as you guys can see, this is exactly how the trade looks once it panned out. My stop loss almost 122 pips. I probably should have put the take profit on here, so I'm going to have to update this one. I think the take profit was around let's see, if it was 155, so it's probably around 170, 180, something like that. Yeah, it had to be around that, just based on the risk to reward. So this is the whole time from July 22nd to August 19th, because there was a bit of consolidation. Price did go against me a little bit, but it still ended up taking profit. And this is where I wrote. I was in drawdown for a week and a half. I felt confident knowing that my rules were followed and so forth. One thing about it, because I get asked a lot about how do I manage my emotions? So let's talk about that for a second. I manage my emotions when I'm placing a trade. Like I said, I trade by logic first. I've been trading the same strategy, and I don't tweak it. I don't add to it. I don't take away from it. I think the only time I'm shaking is when I enter on the 4 hour. And I express this a lot. I think you have to know your weakness when it comes to trading. So it seems like for me, if I do enter on the 4 hour, it can go well, but then I just go through a bad string of losers after, and I've noticed that for quite some time. So that's why I try to stay consistent with what I do on the higher time frames. So that's one way I get shaken. The only other way I get shaken is if in real life, because real life happens, if something is going on that's detrimental to my health or my emotions, or something going on with my children, sometimes even in relationship because I am married, then yes, sometimes that can stir things up, or just things that happen in life that you cannot control. So I find that if there's anything that's making me insecure in real life, it could actually make me insecure on my charts. So that I can get emotional that way, and I'm a woman. Womanly things happen, so that can shake and stir me as well, and I've noticed that too. So I try to stay away from the charts as much as possible, even during those times, because I'm overly sensitive. Okay, we gotta talk about those things. But what helps me with my emotions is just being aware of my strategy and keep trading the rules and not bending or breaking them just because I want to. So if you guys would like a more detailed breakdown of how I continue to use Notion and how I'm now starting to use this as my trading plan, then you guys make sure you hit the thumbs up button and comment below that you want a Notion video. Now, I want you guys to know that the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar do move almost the same. Now, I'm not saying it moves the same candle by candle. What I'm saying is, naturally, if AUDUSD is going down, so is New Zealand dollar. And the reason being is because the common currency they have is the United States dollar. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. Oh, as you guys can see, New Zealand dollar has been creeping to the downside. Now, she's been a little bit flaky. She's had a false breakout here or there. She kind of ranged in this area, but she showed her hand here at 0.6805. Now, the reason why I said that she showed her hand was because she made a lower low. Now, what I'm hoping for, since she made this lower low, is that she can stay below her last lower high at 0.70887. And if she can stay below this last lower high, and she's touching my estimation zone, which is this red zone here, if by Monday's candle closure or even Tuesday's candle closure, if I get a candle that says we're ready to go back to the downside, I am going to want to sell her back down to the previous low and maybe even further beyond in case we get a new lower low made. That means I'm going to be entering 2 trades. Now, I love using Fibonacci to do this. This is my Fibonacci method, because what I've learned is this market, especially as a swing trader, it breaks higher highs, it breaks higher highs, meaning it passes higher highs. That's what the uptrend does. And it also goes down and breaks lower lows or passes lower lows. That's what a downtrend does. So why not hold an extra position and double my profit? Especially because I'm not showing up as a day trader or a scalper. So I have to make my money the best way that I can because I'm holding trades, which means, yes, I may need a bigger account. And then it also means that, yes, I'm going to have to make up for the lack of trades that I take versus a day trader or a scalper. So this is one of the best ways that I know how to do. Now, while I may catch more pips than scalpers or day traders, I also know that their lot size can be a little bit larger than mine, but they're showing up almost on a daily basis to place trades, where I may only place a couple trades, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 at most, throughout the week unless I can double my profits like I can here. So once again, you guys, this is quick analysis. Now let's go to pound AUD. So as you guys can see here on pound AUD is in an uptrend, and let me show you guys what I mean. If you take a look here at the last higher high, is at 1.91520. Now I'm liking this and where price is because it's still above the last higher low at 1.87550. Now, like I told you guys on the Australian dollar, just because price passes my zone, I'm fine with that. I just don't want it to pass this number at 1.87550, because if it does, I can no longer become the buyer. I have to become the seller. Now, if price sometime this week shows me that the bulls have control, I will want to take a buy back up to the upside, back up to 1.91520 and potentially higher. And you guys, that is simple analysis. And to be honest with you guys, I'm done. So that's 3 currency pairs in my watch list that I am watching that have great potential. 2 are already at structure. 1 is already on its way to structure. The only way that I don't enter these trades is, number 1, if price goes past where I don't want it to go. The exchange trades where I say, hey, if price goes past here, I have to change my bias. So I'm patient. And to be honest with you guys, it's probably one of the only ways price can invalidate itself is if price reverses on me. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Now, I like to keep my analysis this simple and look for the longer targets. Number 1, being a swing trader means that I get my day to myself because I'm also a Forex coach, which means I coach people throughout the day. I create content just like this to give to you guys. And sometimes it's not a one-shot take-all type of thing. So there's B-roll included, there's studying included, there's setting up my charts, lights, and a lot of stuff included. Also, I have children. I don't know if you heard them in the background, but being a person who trades from home as a full-time trader, being a person who also coaches, that means that my kids come with this deal. And so I have to take care of them as well. And so I have duties as well that I have to serve outside of trading. Got a life to live as well too, you guys. But that's why I like having 15-minute trading days, because I get to spend my time doing things that I enjoy, doing my passion, which is actually teaching other traders in one-on-one sessions, and just being able to connect with as many people as I can, but giving them my attention like my children, right? So if this is something that resonates with you guys, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you like it. And if you're wanting help with your analysis, just like how I did here, you're wanting to experience the 15-minute trading day and you're wanting your analysis to be this quick, where you can understand where price needs to go, you can understand how price gets to where it needs to go, how to set your zones just like this, so you can estimate where price can get to, and just so you can feel like you're not going back and forth and you feel like you're doing too much, too many strategies, too much information, or maybe a lack thereof, then make sure you comment down below so that I can help you if you have a question, or you can set up a free discovery call with me. My schedule is down below. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I pray you have a safe trading week. And if you take these trades or are looking to take these trades, comment down below to let me know too. You guys have a blessed week.